idea of us sending troops to Panama, both hugely critical information the American public were to receive, and actually put a stop to Musk getting that information. So people within the Pentagon doing the right thing, and Trump trying to seal those leaks any way he can.
There's been some public sparring between Elon Musk and the president's trade advisor, Peter Navarro, on some of these tariffs. Musk actually referred to Navarro today as being, quote, dumber than a sack of bricks. Are you at all, or is the administration, the president, all concerned that this is maybe impacting the public's understanding of these tariffs? It might be messing with the message on it?
No, look, these are obviously two individuals who have very different views on trade and on tariffs. Boys will be boys, and we will let their public sparring continue. And you guys should all be very grateful that we have the most transparent administration in history. And I think it also speaks to the president's willingness to hear from all sides, that he has people at the highest levels of this government in this White House who have very diverse opinions on very diverse issues, but the president takes all opinions in mind, and then he makes the best decision based on the best interests of the American public.
Can we go back to Elon Musk for a second? Because I'm glad that you brought that up. He also took a shot at you personally on X, and he's going against the administration with respect to the tariff policy. The president has said in the coming months he may leave the administration. Peter, is there a rift internally?
No, I mean, Elon, when he's in his Doge lane is great, but we understand what's going on here. We just have to understand. Elon sells cars, and he's in Texas assembling cars that have big parts of that car from Mexico, China. The batteries come from Japan or China. The electronics come from Taiwan. And he's simply protecting his own interests, as any business person would do. We're more concerned about Detroit building Cadillacs with American engines. And that's what this is all about. So it's fine. There's no riff here.
The very public dispute between Trump's trade policy on tariffs, Peter Navarro, and Elon Musk is spilling out to the rest of us in real time. No leak required. They are both going out in public, disparaging each other. We'll see which man is left standing. But basically, here's the issue. As we know, Navarro is behind Trump's tariffs, which is tanking the economy. And as Elon Musk's products are going to be tariffed, especially Tesla, he doesn't like it. And instead of maybe just trying to talk about this or try to convince him, he calls Peter Navarro a moron. Evidently, this is the best argument a MAGA could come up with. I mean, couldn't he have had a more persuasive argument? Either way, it's a good thing for these two men who are helping prop up Trump to fight each other and help this crumble from within, because the number of unlawful things this Trump administration is doing is getting really scary. And we, from the outside, could use some help from the inside. So basically what Navarro did, he went out in public and said how Tesla, should be manufacturing more of their parts here in the United States instead of importing them from China and Japan. And of course, Musk comes back and says that he's a moron. But the fact is Musk doesn't like Trump's tariff policy. It hurts his business. He's not the only Republican who's coming out against Trump with his tariff policy. We also see the lawsuit in Pensacola, Florida, brought by the Simplified business, but actually funded by the Koch brothers organization that they founded, trying to say that the Trump's use of tariffs is unconstitutional, that only Congress has the power to impose tariffs. And so Trump's unconstitutional. Trump is starting to get this from many different angles.
Of course, Joe Biden was the last president. Donald Trump is the current president. Donald Trump wants to say, don't blame me if you're upset with the state of the economy. Blame the other guy. I don't think Americans are buying what he's selling at this particular point, at least anymore. More responsible for the economic state. They asked about inflation back in March. Look at this. 38% said Joe Biden. 34% said Donald Trump. But look at where we are this month when they asked about the general state of the economy. Look at how much higher the Trump number is. 54%. The Joe Biden percentage drops through the floor at 21%. So this idea that Donald Trump will try to sell to the American public, is trying to sell to the American public, is that it's the other guy. It's not me. It's that other guy, that old guy, Joe Biden. No longer is this being The American public is no longer buying this set of arguments like they were back in March.
And then, of course, you have consumer sentiment, which has gone way down. People, Americans, are really not hopeful about our economy. They're going to start spending less money. And you see sentiment from around the world not being hopeful about our economy. This is why people aren't buying our bonds. Our bonds are seen as the safest form of investment you can buy in the world, but people aren't buying them because they don't see us as very safe. Because Trump's tariff war is clearly chaotic, has no end goal. He imposes the tariffs, he takes down the tariffs. It's taking down our economy. You're having infighting among Republicans about even how to proceed with these tariffs. And so investors are fleeing and Americans are rightfully scared. And so we're going to keep reporting on all the infighting because the more they crumble from within, the less we have to do from the outside, but we have to do it from all angles because this is how unlawful the Trump administration is doing with their tariffs and with all of the other things.
Love this video? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch and help us blow past 1 million followers.